The 2015 MV Agusta Brutale 675. The Meccanica Verghera MV Agusta company continues its push into the bare bike market with the middleweight 2015 Brutale 675. Built as a somewhat smaller sibling to the awe-inspiring Brutale 800RR, it offers the same look and many of the same features as its big brother. Short, light and nimble, with performance that demands respect, this little Brutale demonstrates that MV Agusta is relevant, indeed a contender, in the worldwide sportbike market. Continue reading for my review of the Brutale 675. Design. Brutale models follow the naked bike philosophy, and the 675 is no exception. Minimal sheet metal, body panels, and fenders leaves the frame, engine and running gear exposed for all the world to see. Personally, I like this look. The lack of stylized vanity covers drives the imagination and appeals to my inner pragmatist. In fact, one could say this lack of style is actually a style all its own. Even though the guts are visible and rather busy looking, the overall look is that of a lean, mean, tire-melting machine with a very clean rear end that tapers down to nothing beneath the pillion pad. Even the taillight assembly looks as though it was wind tunnel tested, and the waspish waist allows the rider to reach the ground with ease when stopped and still integrate with the bike when underway to make machine and rider as one. Chassis. Designers built the trellis frame using steel tubing where they had to and aluminum components where they could, for a strong but lightweight assembly that leaves the bike short and agile. A long, single-sided swing arm reduces the unsprung weight at the rear tire, and pushes the wheel away from the central mass of the bike to show off the futuristic-looking, Y-spoke cast rim. A Sachs monoshock with preload adjuster works on a progressive linkage to support the rear end with 4.68 inches of travel, while 43mm Marzocchi inverted forks support the front with 4.92 inches of travel. This makes for a stiff bike that resists the great torsional stresses of hard cornering and the tendency to dive during hard braking. Good thing, too, because this ride has brakes to spare. The dual, 4-piston Brembo calipers bind the front wheel via 320mm floating steel brake discs, with a 220mm disc and dual-piston caliper in back, all under the management of the Bosch 9+ ABS system with RLM rear wheel lift-up mitigation. Chassis running gear is rounded out by the 17-inch cast aluminum Y-spoke rims and Z-rated tires. Drivetrain. MV Agusta used a street-modified version of its race-proven F3 engine as the beating heart for this ride, but don't take that to mean that the engine is, by any means, severely nerfed. This little triple displaces a mere 41.2 cubic inches, 675 cc, hence the ingeniously clever name, yet manages to crank out an astounding 110 horsepower and 47.9 pound-feet of torque at 12,500 and 12,000 revolutions per minute, respectively. Waste heat gets dissipated by separate coolant and oil radiators, and never the twain shall meet for plenty of safe cooling capacity. The MVICS motor and vehicle integrated control system manages the Mikuni drive-by-wire induction system to control misfires and detonation, for smooth transitions and throttle response across the board, and gives the rider 4 preset engine maps, plus a 5th slot for a custom map, to dial in a specific torque curve. As if that wasn't enough, a traction control system monitors wheel slip, and has 8 levels of intervention to help you keep this ride on the rails, regardless of skill level and road conditions. As much as I mistrust ride-by-wire, I can definitely make arguments for using it on machines with this much get up and go, and would likely start on the highest newbie level until I made friends with the bike. A mechanical primary drive carries power from the engine, through the wet, multi-disc clutch into the 6-speed, cassette-style, constant mesh transmission. The MVEAS electronically assisted shift allows you to upshift without rolling off the throttle, for the ultimate in aggressive acceleration. Price. At $11,998, this is a lot of bang for your buck. This price should make the bike accessible to the majority of riders, including the entry-level sector. The bike comes in pearl white, matte metallic anthracite, red, matte metallic anthracite or matte metallic black. He said. MV Agusta really wears its passion on its sleeve with the Brutale line, and the 675 is no exception. It shows the same attention to detail and racing DNA as its big brother, but with slightly less intimidation factor. I've said it before, and I say it again, if I ever decide to stop riding American-made bikes, I am definitely going to look at Italian machines. This ride is a perfect example why. She said. My wife and fellow rider, Alan Hinton, says, I look at the max horsepower and torque at over 12k rpm. That baby must go screaming down the road. Leave it to the Italians to get that kind of muscle out of a tiny little engine. I don't care for the sound, though. I guess I'm too partial to the sexy V-twin rumble. 3-cylinder engines just sound like something is horribly wrong in the engine. One thing I definitely like is the EAS that lets you upshift without letting go of the accelerator. That's sweet. Specifications.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.